Civil society. Georgian media. Opposition parties. Civil society. Georgian media. Opposition parties on May 16, a day ahead of International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia and Biphobia. 15 political parties, including the United National Movement, the largest opposition party, signed the agreement to fight to eliminate discrimination and violence against LGBTQ citizens with all mechanisms at their disposal, with Tbilisi Pride, NGO uniting LGBT rights activists. The Tbilisi Pride described it as a historical agreement in Georgia on LGBTQI rights. On June 16, Tbilisi Pride announced Pride Week to take place during the 1st to the 5th of July, consisting of 3 main events: public screening of the March for Dignity, British documentary film, featuring events around the first Tbilisi Pride, an open-air Pride Fest and March for Dignity on July 5 as the conclusive event for the Pride Week. The Tbilisi Pride activists said that during the events they will demand the implementation of a human-oriented policy by the government, fulfillment of all international obligations to ensure the environment free from homophobia and discrimination, to investigate hate crimes and ensure the safety and freedom of expression of each citizen of the country. On June 17, the head of the ruling Georgian Dream Party, Irakli Kobakhidze, said that, considering the current situation in the country and the context, holding the Pride events is unreasonable. He also added that it is his own personal view. On June 15, conservative political figure Levon Vasadze, who founded the public movement ERI, urged government to cancel the Pride events to prevent destabilization. He stated that Tbilisi Pride events and march on Rustaveli Avenue in central Tbilisi on July 5 will not take place anyway because people will gather there and will not allow the anti-Christian and anti-Georgian activities. The Tbilisi Pride said that it is the government to blame that Vasadze continues to make such homophobic statements. On June 29, Georgian Orthodox Church has issued statement calling members of European Parliament, Working Group on LGBTQ issues, and embassy heads in Georgia to refrain from supporting and encouraging Tbilisi Pride. The GOC has also urged the Georgian government to prevent the destabilization of the country and of public life. It said that Tbilisi Pride propagates non-traditional way of life under disguise of human rights, and that church deems hatred and violence directed at anyone unacceptable, but also denounces pride of sin and attempt to influence other people. According to statement, activities of the Tbilisi Pride discredit Western values in Georgia, and it is necessary to confirm that European democracy doesn't goes against the way of life and religious feelings of majority of the population. On July 1, the first from 3 events planned in the framework of Pride Week took place. The screening of the movie featuring events around the first Tbilisi Pride attracted the large number of protesters, but no violence took place. On July 4, a day before the March for Dignity, the chairman of Georgian March, Irakli Shikhashvili, visited office of Tbilisi Pride to hand over a letter, but the door of the office was closed. Shikhashvili announced willingness to discuss in civil form why Pride shouldn't be held. He also encouraged the ambassadors that they should not provoke or support a march, which majority of Georgian traditional society opposes, because it will cause negative attitude. The political commentators of the media outlet Alt-Info have stated that they will oppose holding the Pride March in the streets of Tbilisi by any means necessary. The Georgian government, having declined to issue unequivocal guarantee to uphold freedom of expression and freedom of assembly, which are protected by of the Georgian constitution, caused international concern in the days leading up to the planned March for Dignity. For that reason, embassies of the European Union, United Kingdom and United States, among others, urged the government to keep the activists safe and enable them to carry out the Pride Week as planned. In an open letter, 28 members of the European Parliament called upon Vakhtang Gomaleri, the Minister of Internal Affairs, to protect the constitutionally protected freedoms and rights of the activists. Members of the ruling party, Georgian Dream, repeatedly urged the activists to abstain from holding the March for Dignity, claiming it would be provocative and would lead to disorder. In a televised address, the Prime Minister of Georgia, Irakli Garibashvili, blamed the radical opposition and the ex-president in exile, Mikhail Saakashvili, for organizing the march in order to destabilize the country and cause chaos. He again urged the activists to either choose one of the alternative locations suggested by the mayor, or not to go forward with the plan at all, calling it unreasonable. Gharibashvili warned that it would provoke negative reaction.